Alright, hello everyone. Welcome back to another Rain World stream. Continuing off with this custom map, Slug King. I did get a lot further than this shelter, but this is the only save point, so this is where I'll be continuing from. I did fall quite far down last time anyway. I did not figure out a way to fix the wind in this section, so I guess I'll just be skipping it. So I would like to, I don't know, maybe that'll be fixed. And maybe if there's like expansions to this map or future maps, I'll get back around to that. So yeah, just keep going. I have played this a little bit off stream. I did a run up to this shelter as the hunter, just to see like how different it would be. And honestly, it's not that different. Like some jumps you can make just by jumping normally. You don't need to do any tech. But most of the times you need to do something else. It wasn't that much worse. Oops, I have dev tools on. Just turn those off. I won't be using them anyway. I did see that you got the record. Mostly just wall climbed with the blue fruit from the beginning. I saw in the patch notes that they removed the fruit from the beginning of the room that you started in. So I guess you'll have to do another run without using that strategy. Okay, I forgot how to do this one jump. You have to leave, press up, and jump. But I'm not really getting enough height. Probably doing the timing wrong somehow. And then I end up facing the wrong direction. There we go. Let's not fall down from up here this time. See if I can do this here. Nice. Oh, great. And then I fall back down right afterwards. So I did figure out how to do this. Although I'm not consistent at it at all. Don't do it too close to the edge. There we go. I literally just figured that out today. I was like, yeah, maybe I should look into that trawl turn vault. Although I am using a macro for that, to rebind another key to jump. I'm not sure if that's allowed for most situations, where like in speedruns or something. I think I know how I could do it without using a macro, but it seems even that would be even harder timing, or involving pressing two keys at the same time with one finger. Like pressing in between the two keys. So I'm not sure if using a macro is like expected for that tech. It's a little ridiculous to do it otherwise. Oh great, bot. Hold up. Hello, yeah. Because in like the movement guide that explains how to do this, it says that one of the ways to do it is with a macro that's recommended. Gotta speed up a bit more. This is the room where the music stops. I can just go up at the top. Okay. Do you have this play this stuff again? I added some songs from the original Rain World OST, so it's not just Downpour anymore. Yes, I think that's what they said in the Rain World Discord. There's one post explaining how the tech works. Like you have to press space at the same time as like 2 other keys, so it's easier to have it all in the same hand. So if you have a key closer to your arrow keys, bind to jump, you can do that tech easier. Also, I'm still doing this strategy instead of going over to the other side, which is probably the correct way to do it. Well, there is no correct way to do any of this. Or I could try this again. Except I can't really do it as well, facing the other direction. There we go. Kind of held back for a second there, just to line up correctly. Oh, great, yeah. Okay, let's not fall all the way back down. Outside of movement maps like this one, I don't really see the CTV being that useful, considering how inconsistent I'm at it right now. Oh, I would have been able to climb up that. I kept holding in. So I'm not sure if this is something that I'll try to practice. How to do with how to macro, and then even with that rebinded key, it's still not consistent. I can't really see any movement tech that is based on frame perfect inputs being that consistent. Okay, be careful there. There's that weird thing that happens when you move away from a platform as you're climbing up it. As you're falling really fast like that. Hopefully it doesn't take that long to get back to where I made it last time. Oh, great. It's best to just try to hold up until you're very securely on grabbing the pole. There's this weird state where you're kind of holding on to it, but not completely. Where it's very possible to fall off of it if you move too much. There we go. That seems to be a consistent way of doing that. Okay, we're back here. This is where it's very possible to do this. To jump up there to that pole. Or maybe from this platform. Yeah, but that just takes a lot of attempts. Hey, first try. Shaded Citadel music. Oh. Not fall too far. Times you don't climb up fast enough. I do also wonder if this sphere is going to be useful. Because I know that there was that room earlier. It was kind of an offshoot of the main like map. And it wasn't really possible to go that way, except maybe with the spear. I'm not sure if it is possible with the spear, but you could make a platform or do a throw boost or something and maybe make it across. So either that's the intended purpose of the spear, to backtrack and go through that route, or if maybe spear is like something that you're going to need to carry with you to the end to make a jump that would have otherwise been impossible. Probably could have made some of those jumps if I had held forward the whole time, but I don't want to fall down because I'll have to hold back to grab onto the pole if I don't make it up. It's a bit close. Yeah, don't say anything about the spear yet. Although if I get to a point where the spear is required, then I would like it if you told me. So I didn't spend like 20 minutes to attempting things that would never have worked. Okay, that there we go. That's this song. Okay. I've done that again. I haven't exactly figured out the spacing on that leap. Okay, I didn't exactly know where to fall there. We're back here again. Funny song. Maybe I could just jump. Nope. Well, it would have been easier if that did work. There we go. I made it through this section a lot faster than last time. Oh, what was that? It's a weak jump. There may be a better way to do jumps like that, but my strategy is usually just to do a bunch of attempts until one of them works. Anyway, here's where the music starts playing, so... Yo, what's up? Welcome to this area, where the map gets really fun. Oh, come on. Oh, okay, so... Don't do that. Whatever I just did, don't do that. Guess it's good that I didn't drop the spear further down, in case I do need it. Oh. Sometimes it feels like those charge pounces go way faster than normal. It may have been just because of the slope there, or some like precise timing with my inputs there. Alright, so some things to remember there. I can't just hug the left wall there. It's better to try to move to the right to catch that big slope there. Because usually you can just like hug onto a wall and then you slowly slide down it and you're safe to go wherever you'd like after that. But not for that area. They probably planned that part of the map such that you fall down a lot easier. Honestly, I'm a little surprised that there aren't more places in this map that kind of make you fall down further than usual. That's a thing in Jump King, where there's like specifically placed slopes such that when you fall down, you slide all the way down halfway through the map. Yeah, I'm still not very consistent with this. Because of the slopes on this platform that I'm trying to jump to, it makes this jump kind of awkward. Because slopes are weird in this game. Jumped too early there. Sometimes when you're climbing up a ledge... Oh, nice save. Sometimes when you're climbing up a ledge and you jump, it just makes you do a wall jump. But sometimes you need to press jump to climb up, so... It's a bit strange how that works. There we go. Sometimes it just seems like the jump is higher than normal. Oh, hold up. Music. I didn't want to go too fast. Back here again. At least that room down there kind of acts as a checkpoint. Like quite a wide ceiling that it's hard to fall down. Past that, there's really tall walls that you can slide down if you fall. If you fall down that side, it's pretty close to the end of the room. Held down a bit too long there. Just need to do a small tap to get into position for the jump. Yeah, that's just not gonna happen. Who made this map, and where can I burn him? Hey, it's not that bad, alright? Also, it's Ducklord on Steam. You can find it on the workshop. Not super knowledgeable on the advanced movement tech. Well, decent amount of the map is possible with just regular movement. Probably the most important thing you should learn is turnarounds, because when you turn around, you get like a bit of a speed boost on your next jump if you delay it, because if you jump immediately, it's just a backflip. If you wait, you can kind of get a speed boost, and that felt required for some of the jumps earlier in the map. Like, oh, well, you know, I was gonna use that as an example. Like this jump right here, okay? It's not possible to make that with just a regular jump, so you can walk to the edge of the platform and turn around. And that gives you enough speed to make it, although the timing is still pretty difficult. There we go. Also, this thing you can do, if you hug a wall, you can jump away from it twice to get a little bit of extra distance. I don't know if that's required. You might be able to do that with just jumping up and then wall jumping away. It also helps to know how to climb on poles like that, having to hang very low on them so that you can jump without bonking your head on the ceiling. Also, knowing how to do this jump is pretty important. When you're in this, when you're here like this, you can start moving away, press up, and then jump. That's not how you do it. There you go. That puts you in a state that allows you to jump. Okay. As long as I fall up to these platforms, I'm good. I just have to avoid falling along the sides. I think moving up a bit onto the slope there does give you a little bit more distance. So stressful. Well, this music doesn't help with that. I want to make sure I can get as much room to roll here as possible. The further you roll, the higher the jump will be. Yeah, I don't know if I've made it this far before. Oh, it looks like I have to bounce from that side. Yeah. Okay. Those wall jumps can be a bit weird since you sometimes end up in the like climbing up ledge animation. Depending on how long this ending section is, this music might be playing for a while. Oh, yeah, you don't want to fall down the middle there though. Back to this music. See there. Trying to climb up it just made me wall jump instead. Are there slopes to make you fall further? Not really. Like there's slopes, but you don't slide down them. It's not like Jump King in that way where you end up sliding halfway down the whole map. Here I am again, not able to do this jump. You usually end up falling down further just by trying to land on a platform. If you're moving around too much, you'll probably just end up dodging platforms instead of landing on one of them. here again. Let's not fall off there. Kind of a bit risky to try to land on that platform. Tiny little blocks. Okay. Whoops. Alright, I've moved a bit too far there. No, maybe I'll just try jumping the other way, although there's a much bigger penalty for falling there. On the right side. Maybe just by just jumping immediately there, I'll climb up instead of kind of sliding down awkwardly because of the slope. Ah, this music is fitting for this background. Well, not anymore. Yeah, it's best to just like hang from there for a second. Oh. Yeah, that jump feels a bit weird. You wouldn't think that it's possible to mess it up. Like if you can make the jump one time, you can make it every time, but you know, it's not that consistent. Yeah, messed it up the same way again. I'm not exactly sure on the timing because you can press forwards or up to extend the length of a pounce like that. Except I'm not exactly sure how that works. Whether you should delay the up press or the forward press, or there could be specific timings that maximize the distance that you get that I'm not aware of. Oh. Oh. Alright. Back down to the bottom. See, that's why you don't want to hold to the lefts there, because you want to kind of cling onto a wall, but there is no wall there, so now we're starting from the beginning again. Another one of those places where you want to maximize the length of your pounce. See, that didn't even really feel close to making it. Oh, wait. You're supposed to. I think you're not supposed to do a pounce there. You have enough space to roll. But that's easier. Whoa. Janky slope physics. And back down we go. Just wanted to retry this section again. Big fan of it. You know, it would be unfair if I just went past it in one attempt. This is why there's hopefully in the title of this stream. You know, I could have already made it past that room at the very top if I just didn't fall down. That's the case for any of these kinds of games. The time to complete it isn't based on the length of the level, it's how long it takes for you to get past the like handful of difficult jumps. The more you fall down, you're probably going to try to rush through the early sections faster, which is probably just going to make you more likely to make mistakes. Oh, yeah, let's just clip to that platform. I don't mind. I do this. Although that has not been consistent. It's very lucky that I got that first try. There we go. I did say earlier that the roof of this room kind of acted as a checkpoint, since it was very hard to fall down past it. But of course, I didn't mention dying. Fall damage. If you just fall from too far, you'll have to restart from the shelter all the way at the bottom. Okay, it's not jumps there. Okay, we're at a safe point now. Never understand why people do these things themselves willingly. Well, I don't think it's too bad. I don't usually get opportunities to try out more advanced rain world movements, so I'm enjoying this. Okay, here we are again. This jump. I'll try out jumping earlier once I reach the platform. And that kind of worked. Yeah, there we go. Standard Rain World gameplay, yes, it's very different. Didn't take too long to get back up here. Betting on the ending being a bad joke. There's supposed to be an iterator at the top. Although it kind of doesn't matter what's at the top. The only reason to do this is to say that you've completed a difficult challenge. I had always wanted to see a Rain World map that was kind of in this style of gameplay. It's something that I'd like to see in some more like serious games, other than just the typical like rage games, like Getting Over It or Jump King. Like I would like to see a game where, you know, you have platformers like Celeste, for example, where there's a checkpoint on every single screen. So every mistake you make is just going to set you back a few seconds, and you learn very quickly from your mistakes and are able to improve and figure out how to complete the room. But for games like this, or well, this is a custom map, but in platformers like this, you have to be a lot more careful about your movement, because any mistake might lose you a few seconds or a few minutes. You know, I feel like those kind of consequences aren't very common in these kind of games, but usually that's used as a, like, it's in rage games, right? Like, oh, falling back to the bottom is so infuriating. Oh, there we go. I made the same mistake there of falling to the left too long. So Fantheal is always a thing. Well, I think that's where it stops being a fun challenge. Because there's... This is a very controlled environment. It's the same platforming. The platforms don't move around. There's no randomness anywhere. So you can get consistent at it. You can learn the movements, and you can get, you know, you can improve. That, so Fantheal, or E-Knots, or whatever it's called. It's a few different names at this point. It's just kind of chaos. It's like, yeah, let's just throw like 20 Mirage Vultures in this one room. Or a bunch of red centipedes, because it'd be funny. And I know that anyone who plays that is just going to spend like a few hours in memory crypts. And then a few hours in the next area, and it's not very interesting to watch because not much progress is made. And maybe that's also the case for this map. know, it's already been what, almost an hour, and I haven't even made it past where I made it to last stream. Despite it not being a mod, it feels like a mod. Well, it is a mod. That just became official. Usually, developers kind of, you know, they might want to take their game seriously and not add in stuff like that. So it's left up to the modding community to add that to the game. But this is just the modding community having control over what the official game is, so we're left with that. Plus what happens if you get to the end of that secret campaign. It's not fall down. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how to do that jump. Seems like you kind of randomly just don't go as far as normal. Some movement in Rain World is like that. Like if you hold down this key for exactly 5 frames and then this key for 2 frames, it maximizes the distance you get. As if anyone can actually tell how long a frame is exactly without just like hours of practice and muscle memory. As long as I just land down here every time, I don't lose too much progress. Oh, I have dev tools at the top. Well, it's not like I was using them. Yeah, it's best to just hold up there and climb up it normally. This is like watching paint dry. Thank you. Paint with dramatic music in the background. More than 2% of the game's moveset. Well, okay. That 2% is very important. It's just that, like, most of the moveset is made up of kind of emergent properties of the physics system. And not actually intentionally designed movement mechanics. I have spent quite a bit of time looking at that one document. I mean, it's a good thing that this map exists, otherwise that would have been a waste of time. Considering how often you aren't using it in the base game. Whoops. Okay, you can wall jump up that if you fall down there. Get this music back. What happens if you don't hold up for long enough? Yeah, unfortunately this map doesn't really take advantage of throw boosting because of the official term for, well, unofficial term. You can throw to give yourself a bit of momentum, which totally breaks the laws of physics, but whatever. Except sometimes it's better to throw behind you for speed boosts, like with extended slides. Unfortunately, in this map, you're only given this one spear, which I speculate is important for the very end. Although I'm not entirely sure. So you can't use the spear for throw boosting or for making platforms. Some of these jumps would be a lot easier if I was just to throw the spear into the ground and climb off of that. But just in case, I'm holding on to it. But I would like to see a map that either just has rocks everywhere for you to use for platforming, or for the spear, or to use the spear master, because they can generate infinite spears, so you can use them for throw boosts or making platforms. That would be an interesting map to see. If I knew how to make maps in Rain World, I might do some of that myself. If it helps you get out of Sky Islands quicker, that's one of the places, it's one of the few places in the base game map where that tech is actually useful. There's this one jump in particular that you usually need Squidcada to get past, but with throw boosting and some like max distance roll pounces, you can make those jumps without needing a Squidcada, which I find particularly useful. I don't like dealing with Squidcadas, especially if you're holding on to some important items like a mask or pearls. So you can actually navigate most of Sky Islands with just throw boosting. Or you can use mushrooms, but those aren't always accessible, depending on which direction you're going. There's also a handful of places in the wall. If you're trying to go up the wall to 5 pebbles, you can skip the area where that usually has all the orange lizards in it with a few spears. And you can also use spears to make it up to the room that usually leads to the echo. But you can also you can either use 2 spears or 1 spear and some movement tech that I don't know the name of. That involves like turning around and then crouching and then turning around and jumping. It kind of gives you a backflip. I would demonstrate that movement, but there's not enough space up here. You get 1 spear for the map. Oh, it'd be... Okay, there is an option in the remix settings that lets you take spears out of the walls, which would kind of break this map completely, considering that it just lets you climb walls straight up. Alright, falling down now. But I currently don't have remix mode enabled at all. Fall down that. Had to remove fruit spawn because you can climb walls with fruit. Yep, that's a thing too. If you have a fruit, or I think bubble fruit work as well. You can spam throw and grab, and it lets you climb up walls infinitely. So they had to remove the the food at the beginning, or hold on, this is a bit loud. Favorite downpour Slugcat? That depends on, whoops. All right. That depends on a few things, because each of the Slugcats has their own campaign, right? And some of the campaigns I'm not particularly a fan of, despite the Slugcat that they're attached to. So in terms of just their base move set in a vacuum, it's probably the Rivulet's my favorite. Just because it's the same exact moveset that I'm already used to, but just kind of amplified. And just like navigating around the map with that kind of speed is a lot of fun. Until you get to the Rivulet's exclusive regions, then it becomes a lot less fun. Because you stop actually using their moveset and have to deal with like gravity changing all over the place or being underwater. Same for the Artificer. I really like their movements and their like combat abilities, like fighting vultures or mirror birds. It's a lot of fun as the Artificer, but it's a little hard to do that when you're constantly dealing with scavengers, as well as the way their karma works. And I can't really talk about the Saints for spoiler reasons, but I'll say that they're probably my favorite except for one thing, and you probably know what that one thing is if you've played the Saints. And that's kind of the case for all of the new Slugcats. There's a lot of things that I really like about them, but then there's one downside that kind of makes the whole experience unappealing. Except for Gourmand. I just kind of don't like Gourmand in any way. And Spearmaster, I don't like that Spearmaster's campaign requires you to carry a pearl, considering that you are the one Slugcat incapable of putting a pearl in your stomach for storage. So it kind of removes the whole, like, they can hold 2 spears at once. Like, you aren't able to do that if you're holding onto a pearl instead. And also the rankings, my rankings for them changes based on the lore and story stuff. Alright, we made it up here. The gimmick was fun, and then it just kept going. Yeah, that last area is just way too long. That is because I found out after completing the Saints that I took the longest route possible through that region. Okay, how do I do this? Can I just jump this normally? Yes. So if I fall down, it's best to try to get to the middle to land on that block in the middle there. Who doesn't love Mirror Soldier spam? Bet you like Getting Over It? I've never played Getting Over It, and I want to try it out sometime. Alright. What new accursed platforms await ahead? Okay. I don't think I can make it up from here. So I'll jump back. This music though. Okay. Alright. Let's try this again then. I'm kind of hoping I'd be able to get back onto that pole. Have I tried pogo stuck? No. But I know what that is. Alright, back down here. You know, I spent a good amount of time looking through the Rain World OST to pick out like kind of chill, relaxing songs to put in the background of the stream. But no, we're listening to this instead. This one song. I'm not gonna read that out loud. It's I learned a more consistent way of doing that jump down there. This looks more fun than at least like 80% of Vanilla Rain World. Just have Outskirts Threat on repeat. That's a great idea. I immediately fall down. Careful not to fall off that platform. Didn't expect me to actually do it. Like the OST and Bitter Airy, but you never found what tracks they were. There's a mod that displays the name of the song that is playing, just like it does in arena mode. You could use that if you want to find out what those songs are called. Alright, we're back up here. Everyone seems to agree that it's a Slugcat being used as an instrument. Maybe. It could be. Oh, alright. We're up here now. Very random gods enlisted while you work out. Random gods is very good. It's still probably one of my favorite songs in the whole Rainworld OST, even compared to the new Downpour, the new Downpour songs. Whoops. Okay, there's actually just a lag spike there. Oh, I might have messed up anyway. Can't just blame lag every time. Also, if you ever want to try out this map for yourself, make sure you get comfortable with this jump, because it happens a lot earlier down. While it's not like awful, like you can retry it pretty quickly. It's good to get used to that. New stress toy just dropped. What, a slug pup? They better make one of those, a new plush. Okay, we're back down here. I really wish Rainworld had the option to change music or just like volume settings while you're in game, so you don't have to go to the main menu to change it. Because I would rather just turn off music and keep regular game sounds on. How does cement taste like? Why can't we eat it? That's a great question. Probably tastes like sand and rocks. I mean, it probably also tastes like blood. You immediately breaking all of your teeth. Controls are very responsive. That's how you play remote play with the controller. Crunchy mud. Yeah, I haven't gotten the opportunity to try out multiplayer with anyone. I have like hosted a game for someone else, but I've yet to experience any input delay. But any other sort of like kind of multiplayer would be very difficult to get to work in Rainworld. Usually multiplayer is kind of an illusion. You just have the game running on two different systems at once, and some way to coordinate the two of those. But for Rainworld, it works in a very strange way, where, you know, like the animations are all physics based, and so the exact positions of creatures is based on physics, right? And that's very difficult to get to work, to synchronize between multiple people. So they kind of have their only option for multiplayer was to have local multiplayer with streaming. So that it's kind of like fake online, where it just pretends that it's local. You know, any way to play Rain World multiplayer is still nice, if it doesn't work like we would like it to. Keep looking at, or looking at Rain World source code scares. I like the idea of looking at the source code. There's a lot of exact details about the game that I would like to know. So I'm the kind of person to ask those questions. Like how exactly ultra masks work. Like I would like to see like what exactly the timer is, how it works for creatures, and how it works if you go off screen or between different rooms. Because yeah, you can know that vulture masks, they scare lizards for some amount of time, but how does that work exactly? Although I don't have experience looking into source code, so I don't even know how I'd start with that. There's also developer commentary. Yeah, I've unlocked that. They're very interesting. I think it's worth like playing through the game again just to see all those. Actually, hold up. This is a good opportunity to do something. Turn the sounds back on. Turn music off. Sorry, no more Outskirts threat music, but this song is from Outskirts. Also, I think this is unintentional, but last time I saved in this shelter, I brought the spear in with me. And now I have 2 spears. The one that spawns normally and the one that I kept from the shelter. But last time I tried to do that, the spear in my shelter disappeared, which I think is intentional. Like, you're not supposed to have 2 spears. So I am left with this extra spear, but I feel like it's kind of cheaty to take advantage of that. How do you access dev commentaries? The way that you're supposed to do it, the intended way, is to beat all of the challenges in challenge mode, which may or may not include challenge 70. I think it's... I don't know how that works. I had to beat challenge 70 to unlock it, but they might have changed it so that you don't need to complete challenge 70. And then that enables a setting that you can access in the options menu to enable dev commentary. You can then, that gives you access to these things that show up around the map. They look like arena unlocks that you can pick up, and well, they act more like Spearmasters. The thing that show up in Spearmasters campaign, where you can listen into broadcasts. Except it's the developers instead of iterators, unless it's maybe just proof that the downport devs are just secretly iterators trying to explain the events of Rain World to humanity through a video game. I've heard that a lot of people aren't exactly fans of challenge mode. I can see where that comes from, considering some of the challenges just kind of take kind of random chance You just do a ton of attempts until you get one lucky one to complete the challenge. But I don't mind doing a lot of attempts. Hence me playing this right now. But challenge 70 is maybe like one of the worst designed, some of the worst designed gameplay in all of Rain World. So that wasn't very fun. It took like 3 days to complete that challenge. It probably took longer to complete challenge 70 than it did for me to complete every single other challenge. Maul the vulture to death? Doesn't that take forever? Like sometimes it takes like 6 of them to kill like a pink lizard. The vultures have multiple times pink lizard's health. Game giving you 2 spears and telling you to kill one? Yeah, that was an interesting challenge. Kind of, it's based around how vultures are just hard to kill in general. Not because of that they're like particularly dangerous, but that they just run away. If you only have 2 spears, you don't really have the opportunity to spam them with spears to kill them quickly. So... But luckily the map that challenge takes place in, it gives you a good chance to kind of lure the vulture into an enclosed area where it can't escape easily. That was my strategy for that challenge. Also, since I'm not on the stressful part of this map anymore, I want to continue on about what I was talking about, the new Slugcats. I think I would enjoy some of them more if they didn't have a unique campaign, or like some of their unique game mechanics, like the Artificer, for example. I really like the idea of using the Artificer in like a hunter score run, because they have the easiest time killing creatures like vultures or Miros birds. That's usually a strategy for hunter score runs, but it usually involves something like Echo Cheese, or just being good at the game, which kind of difficult against King Vultures sometimes. So I really like the idea of trying those kind of strategies, but with Artificer instead, considering that you can make explosive spears. There we go. My problem with the Artificer, however, is mainly karma gates and having to bring scavengers with you. So you start off at one max karma, and you can't increase it unless you get echoes, which you can only activate if you have a karma flower. And for a Slugcat with such difficult spawns, maintaining a karma flower can be a bit challenging sometimes. So the way they usually do this is to bring scavengers. Since they have karma, you can drag them through the gates, and they'll let you pass to new regions without having to increase your own karma. The problem with that is that you have to carry scavengers around, and you can't carry other items while you're holding on to a scavenger. Also, the amount of karma that a scavenger has is randomized, so if you need 5 karma to get through a gate, it's quite rare to find a scavenger with 5 karma, so you might spend a lot of time just looking for one with enough. And also, just finding scavengers in the first place can be a bit difficult, especially when all I want to do is just get past the region. I want to go from this region to the next region. But instead, I have to go hunting for some scavengers. Usually they aren't too hard to find, but sometimes you can just get unlucky and not run into any. And then when you finally do find the scavenger with enough karma and you don't die, you then have to drag that scavenger all the way to the gate, and you can finally get through. While as for literally any other Slugcat, you can just walk through like normal. And it even gives you enough time to pass through entire regions in a single cycle, which I'm quite a fan of doing. Why I like the speedrun, pebbles per percent speedrun. It lets you just go from outskirts all the way up to 5 pebbles, and then from outskirts all the way down to depths. And I really like that. I also really like the community made challenge of getting from the shelter next to 5 pebbles all the way down to the depths in a single cycle. That was one of my favorite challenges to do. Learning the routes and optimizing your movement. That's a lot of fun, but it's only possible if you're able to just pass through gates easily. The Artificer can't do that. You would have to find and bring a scavenger with you along the whole way, either for each gate individually, or you'd have to like find a scavenger with high karma and drag it all the way with you, so you wouldn't be able to carry a mask or spears to protect yourself. And even though the Artificer has better movement, I feel like it would still take longer. Also, you would kind of have difficulties with drainage system, considering Artificers can't breathe underwater for that long. I'm a fan of the Survivor's Pebbles percent speedrun, because it's mainly just movement. You don't really care about other creatures. Oh, come on. Kept falling. I was stunned from the fall damage. But luckily I didn't drop the spear down any further. So I would think that the new Slugcat's movement would make for more interesting speedruns, but honestly, I'm not really fond of the idea of speedrunning some of those new Slugcats. For Gourmand, well, Gourmand has plenty of its own problems, but for Artificer, you're dealing with scavengers the whole time, and with karma gates. With Rivulet, you're dealing with the rain, which honestly isn't my main problem with the Rivulet. I kind of like that the rain or cycles are a lot shorter. I don't have a problem with that. It kind of encourages the speedrun playstyle. The problem I have with the Rivulet is the things that you need to do in their campaign, and the state that 5 pebbles is in. Oh, the secret Slugcat? Good luck with that. I kind of don't even want to try to attempt that. Anyway, as the Rivulet, 5 pebbles is basically just all unfortunate development. The gravity keeps switching on and off. There's daddy long legs and proto long legs everywhere, and you don't really have the space to take advantage of Rivulet's movement. You're either kind of flailing around into your gravity, or you can't move too fast, or else you run into one of the walls covered in proto long legs. And then you get the rarefaction core, and suddenly your movement is like, you can jump like twice as high because of low gravity, which is just kind of ridiculous. That the rarefaction core makes it feel like a mod. I feel like that the movement that you have access to is like way too ridiculous, and it kind of breaks the whole game. Of course, until you go to submerged superstructure, where you kind of have to use it to swim around, and then you're in an area that's completely underwater. So you still can't really take advantage of Rivulet's movement. But Rivulet's regular like Ascension speedrun, I do like that. Where you just get all the echoes and then go to the depths. It's not what the Rivulet's supposed to do, and it's kind of an underwhelming ending. And as for the case for most of the new Slugcats, ascending isn't that interesting because it's not what they're supposed to do. But I think it's more fun to speedrun that because you can just run through the map in areas that usually the other Slugcats struggle with. The Rivulet can just zoom past them all. And plus, the Void Seed doesn't take nearly as long because you can swim faster. That's another bonus. And then for the Spearmaster, my main complaint is that you can't hold things in your stomach, which isn't that big of a deal until you realize that their campaign is literally to just bring a pearl back and forth between the iterators. Like, yeah, let's make a Slugcat, and their whole like specialty is that they can create spears and they can hold 2 spears at once. Wow, that's a crazy ability. Okay, now how about let's give them a pearl, and they have to carry this pearl for their like the whole like second half of their campaign. And now they can no longer take advantage of holding 2 spears at once because they have to hold onto this pearl that they also can't hold in their stomach because they don't have one. You can find this map on the Steam Workshop. You search up Slug King. Oops, this isn't how you're supposed to do it. And then download the mod as well as its dependencies. It requires some others, so it'll tell you which ones that you need to get. And then you just have to enable them in the remix settings. Slug King as well as the dependencies. Some of these songs are not balanced the same way. It's way quieter. So this is one of these jumps that it actually is punishing to mess up. Usually the pole is long enough for you to just re-grab it if you bonk your head. I think you found this extra code that controls Vulture Mask Fear. It's very confusing. Okay, well, I didn't die. And, whoops, I managed to leap all the way over that. Thank you, notification. Try not to jump too far that time. This music is a lot different than what's normally plays in this part of the map. Maybe I should learn what exactly the spacing is for this. Okay, now I can grab the spear again. It didn't fall any further. Seems like whenever you fall from a great height, you just drop the spear exactly where you landed. Sometimes if you're holding on to other items, they go flying out of your hands. Oh goodness, what is this code? Yep, that looks like A mess. Some of that might have been, I don't know if the asterisks are supposed to be there. That might be messed up by some kind of filter on Twitch that maybe I should change. Oh yeah, if you don't know, I'm also streaming on Twitch. And if you're on Twitch, I'm also streaming on YouTube. You can choose whichever platform you prefer. But there's not that much difference between the two, other than YouTube's chat is a lot more active. If you want to talk with other people, you can head over there. But if you want a much lower delay, a much lower stream delay, so I can reply to your message sooner, then it's better to be on Twitch. Oh wait, that's not how I'm supposed to do this jump. Like that also works. To do a second jump like that. I'm trying to be careful jumping there, because it's very easy to accidentally wall jump and fall all the way down like that. You know, I just wanted to give you an example. It's not that I fell down accidentally. I would never do that. The wrong side. Oh, that's great. I just kind of pounced into the wall instead of climbing up it. Also, what seems to be the most consistent for getting good distance out of a pounce is to hold forward while you're charging it, and then immediately press up the moment you release. Jump. Except for this jump. I'm not actually pressing any directional inputs for that one. That is what I just wanted to have a, example of what not to do. That's how you don't pounce. That's how you fall down. No directional inputs for this one, holding forward for this one, and then pressing up. Although if you press up before you jump, also, DevTools up there again, I didn't see that. Whoop. Alright, we're back down here. In case you joined the stream a bit later, this is what the lower sections of the map look like. Just wanna look at. Oh wait, there's a shadow. Except the shadows aren't dark. Well, they blend in very easily with the background. The source code is messy because of the DLC. Yeah, that's apparently that created a lot of difficulties with creating downpour. Like before downpour, all of the mods on their own worked perfectly fine, and it was all great. Everyone was happy. And then they tried to combine it into one big package, and it messed everything up because the code just was a big mess. Because it's a bunch of independent mods kind of being combined together. So the way they're all coded is kind of slightly different. And I imagine that the code for Rain World is already quite complex, considering what kind of game this is. If only I could use a passage to make it back up there. Well, I didn't feel like I didn't get enough distance from that. There we go. Here we go. See if I can do this. Oh, hold up. Chat kind of broke for a second there. I'm not gonna try to do that jump. Yeah, let's mess up all these jumps. Let's fall all the way back down. No, I thought I was getting quite good at actually staying in that upper area. It's always a chance to fall all the way back down. Hello, welcome to the stream. See, it's a good thing that I fell down, so that way we can all see what the map looks like instead of just what the ending is. Maybe it would have been boring if I just completed the map. You wouldn't get to see all the interesting platforming, even though I already covered it in the last stream. Get to do this jump again. First try. Okay, maybe there's a more consistent way to do that I haven't figured out yet. Okay, let's actually jump here. Maybe by climbing up as soon as I make it up there. Well, I can't hold on to the wall or else there's extra friction. this is harder than Jump King? Well, that depends on a lot of things. If this was your first experience with Rain World, you just opened up the game and tried it out, it might take longer than if you were to play Jump King for the first time. Because Jump King's mechanics are very simple. As far as I know. I haven't played it, but from what I've seen, it's just like you can jump. Well, this map requires a... That's exactly what you said, in fact, in your comments. So I'm just saying, I agree with you, actually. This is harder if you have no experience with Rain World. But if you've already played the game and you've learned this advanced tech, then I wouldn't know. Because I'm pretty sure that this map was created with the expectation that you already are familiar with Rain World's movement. And since it's a mod instead of a standalone game. This area feels a lot less intimidating without the music. Still not very good at spacing out my rolls for these kinds of jumps. Feels like you need to take advantage of all the space you have here. And then sometimes that isn't enough if you time the last jump wrong. Should add daddy long legs here. They shouldn't add those. Maybe for if you play Hunter or like Rivulet. If you play a Slugcat with good movements, instead of making the platforming harder, it just adds daddy long legs. That'd be funny. Since you could probably skip a lot of these jumps with Artificer, for example. But then you have to deal with daddy long legs. This one spear you get is actually for the Artificers to use to turn into an explosive spear. Here to see the ending? We'll see. I might get there. Okay, I've yet to get past this. Oh. Okay, this jump. Saints, oh yeah, Saints 2. It wouldn't even be a challenge for the Saint. I'm now very excited to see what a platforming map for the Saint would look like, though. Stream dying. Maybe for a bit. Dropped a few frames. It looks alright, mostly. Okay, so... the 0G section, if you miss, you just float off into the sky. So, this jump. Can you like roll up this? Oh, that looks like you can actually. So it's just a regular roll pounce, but you have to deal with the slope. Except if you mess that up, then you have to do that jump again. This is a fun section. Oh, Steam. Steam is dying. Well, also let me know if the stream is dying. That's also important. So for that jump, it's more important that you get the spacing exactly correct instead of just doing a bunch of attempts over and over again. Okay, that wasn't that bad. Yeah, Saints, Max Karma Saint would be a completely different map. Oh, the slope here is kind of messing up this jump. But also, oh wait, it looks like you just do a roll pounce there. Steam is having problems. Oh, so you can't get this on the workshop. Oh, best song. Also, I should... Oh, Steam is back up. I should try to figure out where I should fall, if I do, so that I don't lose too much progress. Because usually if you fall from a place you're not familiar with, you just kind of press random directions, and that usually just makes you dodge the platforms when you could have otherwise just done nothing and might have landed on something. But it looks like for this, it's just a regular pounce, and if I fall down, I just end up on that sloped platform. Ah, I just didn't jump far enough there. Well, let's do this again. I don't think that jump is too bad. The only weird thing about this jump right here is that you have to deal with the weird slope physics, or just doing that. I might have been able to climb up that, but I didn't want to risk possibly wall jumping off. There we go. I think Rain World and Hollow Knight are similar. I think they... Well, I think the biggest thing in common is a massive world map that feels very, very alive, very kind of realistic. Obviously not like realistic in a typical sense, but like a world that feels real and lived in. And I have a lot to say about Hollow Knight, but that's its own stream. So I'm thinking before Silksong comes out, so anywhere between a few months and years, I'm gonna play through Hollow Knight and just give my thoughts on the game before Silksong. So I will also be playing that. But I do enjoy Rain World more than Hollow Knight, except for combat. I think Hollow Knight's combat is like the best part of it for me. I'm less of a fan of the just regular Metroidvania part of it. And of course, Rain World's combat is very interesting. It's unique. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what to do for that jump, since it's has those weird physics at the end. Makes it easier to fall off of it if you mess up. Yo, another banger. Have I ever tamed a red lizard? No. And I'm not interested. And I can't even like climb walls, so it's a bit hard to bring them around places. Oh. So it's also possible to make it up if you're facing that direction. With the pounce. There's like one green lizard, well, sometimes it's a caramel lizard depending on which Slugcat you're playing, but there's one green lizard down in the bottom of Subterranean. Well, not if you include the filtration, but above filtration, below Subterranean, there is a green lizard, and that's surrounded with like a spider and a bunch of centipedes. It's super easy to tame, and that's my go-to when getting the friend passage. Otherwise, I don't mess with taming at all. What is Slug King? It's a custom map someone made that's inspired by falling off to your death. That's what it's inspired by, yeah. You know, actually, here's I did that on purpose. I just wanted to show you the bottom of the map, and I haven't said that exact phrase before in this stream. This is what this is like the halfway point. There's also an area down there that if you want to see that, you can check out the VOD of my last stream. It's a platformer. It utilizes a lot of movement mechanics that aren't very common in base game. Okay, it looks like you can't do that for this kind of. Okay, I tried to do a charge pounce there. Is this? I think this is the song that normally plays in this room. I have music turned off, and I have a playlist of Rain Rolling Downpour OST in the background. But it just picks the song that usually plays in this area. I believe this is that song. Okay, that happens if you try to jump over there normally. Because for some reason, even though the slope is on the bottom of the platform, it still messes up your movement. See if I can do this again. That would have worked if I held the right direction. There we go. I think that still was unoptimal, but can't consistently do multiple frame perfect inputs. Sorry. Oh, okay. So you can't just make that jump. I usually don't do that. I do that instead. If you're here to see the ending of this mod, I don't know if I'm gonna get there this stream. Also, this is where this song usually stops playing. Yeah, I don't know about getting to the end. I know that there's only a few screens after the point that I fell from. But of course, it's the very end that has the most difficult movement and the biggest consequences for falling. Ideally, I would figure out a way to fall down there or fall from up there that doesn't kill me. Noodlefly is good or bad? I'm a Noodlefly fan. I usually kind of just ignore them. You ignore them, they ignore you, and you both go on with your days. Sometimes I accidentally grab one of the children and they get mad at me. And fighting them is quite difficult since they dodge your spears. And they're very thin, so they're kind of hard to hit. So I usually just try to avoid combat. I wish there were more creatures like Noodleflies. Ones that aren't particularly like involved. Like they don't really do much. They're not that important. They're not an active threat like lizards or vultures, you know. But they're there in the background, just kind of doing their own thing. And they have interesting interactions with other creatures and with you, depending on your actions. And that's something that I wish Downpour added more of. Just creatures that are just kind of there that feel like they're just part of the environment. That's one of the biggest strengths of Rain World in general. So it kind of feels like some of the new campaigns focus too much on the creatures being enemies and like threats. Like how many like red lizards and centipedes and Miros vultures can we add to this area to make it dangerous? But then I never think about the Noodleflies that are just kind of there in the background hanging out. Like the creature that best does this is the Yeeks in the Outer Expanse. They're just kind of there, jumping around, getting food. I like those creatures too, but it feels like most of the other creatures added in Downpour are variations of other creatures in various deadly ways. Like here we have a lizard that is better underwater. Here's a lizard that is that can jump at you. Here is a vulture that kills you twice as fast. Here is a, you know, it's a bunch of that. All the way back down. Will I get to the top? Probably not. Probably. Probably not. This is the shelter where I started the stream. If you didn't know. Rain World, I associate Rain World with Jetfish as the creatures that you kind of depend on in some situations, and sometimes you just get unlucky and they don't show up. It kind of messes up your whole plan. When in most situations you can just kind of move at your own pace and do whatever you want. But whenever you want to travel through farm rays or Pacific Rim and farm rays or shoreline, your progress depends on a creature's random behavior. Which it makes sense, like, well, not like this creature isn't like expected to do anything for you. It's just some wild creature that you've encountered that can sometimes help you out. But from a gameplay perspective, it's just annoying. But apparently deer have some kind of bug right now that may or may not have been fixed since the last time I've interacted with deer, where they would just not get up. Like that you would feed them a spore puff and they would eat it and then just sit there for the rest of the cycle. If you were on them, if you were on their antlers. Otherwise they would just walk normally, so you couldn't actually ride them normally. But that kind of bugginess makes them feel a lot less like just regular creatures. Even that kind of jump isn't completely consistent. That was just me. I just messed that one up. Okay, I really need to figure out this jump. For this one, I think being about in this position works. Nope. Maybe... Oh, speaking of reindeer, I think this is, the song plays around them. The farmer is. New here. Welcome to the stream. Playing a custom map called Slug King, where I've fallen multiple times and repeated this section many times. Okay, what is up with that? Doing the pounce like I normally do. It's just not working. There we go. And then, okay. I just tried to get this more consistent. There we go. Right here. I'm a fan of this song too. I have no idea where it plays. but I've heard it in the playlist, so I like it. Okay, we made it back up here. Scavengers block you all the time when you have a good reputation. Yeah, scavengers are kind of never good. You either have a bad reputation and it's very difficult to deal with them, or you have a good reputation and they're always in the way. So ideally, you have a medium reputation. They don't attack you on sight, but they don't follow you around either. Called Garden. Hold up, actually. Do I have that? I do. I didn't actually know this played in Bitter Area, if that's what you're referring to. Because I've heard the song from the Expedition mode. You complete an expedition, this is the song that plays. That's when you actually get some momentum and you're able to actually make some progress instead of getting stuck at one difficult jump 20 minutes. Ever had the patience to try this map? I don't mind it. Usually for me, it's about focus. Like, do I want to spend all the focus required to actually like complete this? Which is why I'm doing it on stream. Otherwise, it feels like what's the reason to do this map? If you feel frustrated, then you know, might as well just stop playing it. So instead, on stream, this is the one thing that I'm doing right now. I can focus on it fully, as well as, you know, other people talking about the map and Rain World, which is nice. I appreciate you all. You talk in the chat. So nice. And you don't have to you don't have to talk to leave comments in the chat if you don't want to. I appreciate it. Just okay. What is up with that? Nice. The pounce just doesn't work. Just doesn't feel like it. Yeah. Just viewing the stream just helps me out. I appreciate it. Okay, we're back here. Oops. Make sure I get enough distance from this. Too soon. Hard to do for someone like you. Yeah, it depends on the person. Oh, great. Okay, at least I grabbed onto something. I guess that there's a similar mechanic in Jump King, right? If you fall from too great a heights, you kind of get stunned for a second, which usually just makes you fall or slide down all the slopes that are perfectly set up to make you fall all the way down the map. And for Rain World, you get stunned, which doesn't allow you to jump to safety. Instead, you just keep falling down. I have to be careful with that pole in particular, so that you don't fall off. Don't slide off with too much speed. Okay, some kind of awkward wall jumps. What'd you miss? Not much. I mean, I'm here. I fell down from the top and I made it back up to this point. Like there's the base Rain worlds can be frustrating at times, and I feel like that's mostly due to the randomness. There just might be a creature right in your way that you just can't get past, or a white lizard that you didn't see, or a vulture that comes out of nowhere, and it causes you to lose a lot of progress. What I find most frustrating about Rain World actually is karma gates. If you want to get past a karma gate, you have exactly enough karma to get through it, but then you die on the way there, and now you have to farm. You have to spend a cycle getting food and sleeping again just to get enough karma to go back through the gate that you would have done like 2 cycles ago had you not died. And it's even worse for the hunter considering his time limits, because if you're going for a score run or some kind of challenge where you want as many cycles as you can get, if you die too many times, then you just don't have enough karma to get through an area. And it's not just, oh, I have to spend a bit of time to sleep and get my karma back. It's, no, you lost a cycle permanently that you can't get back because you're on a time limit. But in this situation, there's nothing random about this. There's nothing that's changing about this map. It's the same set of jumps every single time, so every single time you fall down, it's always your own mistake. And it's consistent challenges like this one that allow you to improve. And eventually you'll be able to fly through it without falling nearly as much. Like my return trip to this area up here didn't take nearly as long as my first attempt through. I probably got stuck on one of those earlier jumps for like half an hour when I did it on like my second attempt this way through. Average scavenger behavior. Okay, I really need to be more careful about this jump and actually like spacing out the roll correctly. You need to make sure that you get the maximum distance possible from that roll, or else you won't get enough height from your jump out of it. Immortal Pups mod now. That's a good idea. If you actually want to bring them around the map. Okay, we're up here again. You really have to make use of all the length of this platform for this jump. And for this one, except you have to deal with a slope. Best part about Artificer is you can't blow yourself up. Yeah, a legitimate strategy is to just run straight into a creature and throw a bomb at it. You don't have to worry about blowing yourself up. Okay, this jump. I did not know how to do this jump because there's a slope right there in front of me. And that kind of messes you up a bit. Like that. It kind of pulls you down. Oh. But you just need to get enough height. Okay. I was gonna say, hey, this is the furthest I've made it. Then I immediately mess up the easiest jump. So we'll have to do these again. You throw a bomb instead of a spear. It's especially difficult in the middle of a tunnel when you can't see your hands easily. And now Artificer's song is playing. It's fitting. Well, as the Artificer, you can pull spears out of walls. And I usually have the remix setting turned on that lets every Slugcat do that. Because it's annoying to accidentally waste the one spear you had. And then you have to go, like, searching through, like, the whole region just to find another spear. Okay, for this jump, it's safer to be lower than you think you should be. Because if you're too high up, then you'll hit your head and fall down. Or you can just do that instead. You know, you can make mistakes and whatever way you want to. I'm glad that a lot of people enjoy Artificer, because I don't. Mostly because of the way you get through karma gates. I just find that annoying. And also, I don't mind fighting scavengers. It's just that they're in every single region as like one of the main threats. And even in places where you don't usually... where you're not used to seeing scavengers, like the top of the wall. I kind of like how this new Slugcats, even if you don't like their new like regions, there's still the rest of the game to explore, right? You don't have to finish your objective. You can go explore the rest of the map and get the echoes and whatever. But that's not really the case for the Artificer, since you still have to worry about scavengers regardless of where you go or what your goal is. Like for the rivulets, I don't really like navigating 5 pebbles as the rivulet. But I do like exploring the rest of the map, so if I want to, I can do that. That's not the case for the Artificer. If I want to just not deal with scavengers, that's just impossible. And it's even worse if there aren't any scavengers in a region, because then you can't use karma gates. Except for in some areas around the exterior, they have karma gates with a much lower karma requirement. You don't need to bring scavengers. Although you can also just get echoes, even if it's more difficult. Okay, what is up with this? Okay, the Saints. Okay, a tip for the Saints. Just swallow a lantern, and you don't really have to worry about the cold. Like if you have a lantern in your stomach, I think it warms you up the same as if you're just holding it normally. And after that point, you don't have to worry about the cold unless it's at the very end of a cycle, at which case, it's better than the rain. Like, at least you can still go outside. It's not instant death. And theoretically, you can complete you can beat the game as the Saint on your very first cycle. You still have to sleep in a shelter once to activate the first echo. But after that point, it's just going between the echoes and then going to the depths, like, because there's no hard time limit like there usually is. And I want to try that. I'll probably stream it too. Beating the Saint on the first cycle would be interesting. Because you always have to start from the same shelter, so that means you have to go from Sky Islands to Shoreline, and then Sky Islands to 5 Pebbles. That'll be interesting. It might even be possible if you carry multiple lanterns. I do want to test that too. If you can just stay out in the blizzard, if you're just holding on to a ton of lanterns. What's the longest possible time you can stay out in the snow? Okay, at least I didn't die. I probably could have made that. Oh, here's a fun fact about the Saints. Usually you can't throw spears, right? If you throw a spear, it just kind of flies around, just spins in the air, and it doesn't do any damage. However, if a creature bites you and you don't die, which is pretty unlikely, usually you just die instantly when you get bit by a creature. But sometimes you do survive. And usually you wouldn't be able to do anything about that anyway, but if you're holding onto a spear, you can still throw it and release yourself. Back down here. So it's not completely useless to hold onto a spear. If a lizard or a vulture grabs onto you, you can throw the spear and escape. If you get lucky and you don't die instantly. Three lanterns would be silly. I have to try that, even though it's a bit difficult to get multiple lanterns. Best Echo song, by the way. There are spears. Yes. And Saints can also use spears for throw boosting or extended slides. Even though you don't throw them normally, you can still get the extra momentum from them. Favorite area in Rain World? That's a very tough question. I usually like well, in terms of just gameplay, I really like Industrial, Outskirts, and Chimney, just for their simplicity. Like, if you just want to play the game, you don't want to deal with, like, gimmicks or like, weird platforming or worm grass, just go to Industrial or Outskirts. They're just chill places to be. And usually where I go for score runs as the hunter, like, there's just a lot of lizards and, you know, just creatures that are easy to deal with, and you don't have to deal with, like, a bizarre environment. Although that's just like, in terms of like speedrunning, I really like drainage system and shaded, particularly because they're challenging areas to navigate, but then once you learn them, you can really like run through them real fast. Like, it's like the one specific route that you can learn that's the fastest way to navigate the region, and I really like that. I know a lot of people don't like drainage, but I'm particularly referring to the route from Outskirts to Filtration System. There's a bit of a swimming challenge to go through. And aside from the horde of centipedes that you might encounter as the hunter, I really enjoy that. Because there's no creatures. It's just, you know, some swimming and some, you know, basic platforming, and that's the whole region. And for shaded, even though most of it's in the dark, you can just memorize the route and run through it, and it's real fast. I always go through shaded instead of garbage waste. When I want to get to shoreline. There's also a ton of different things to look at in a region, like its music or visual design. Like, I really like the wall for the background that you can see right now. This is the background that you see at the top of the wall. I really like it for that reason. And also that you can see the city in the background. Like, this background is one of my favorites in the whole game. But I'm not like particularly a fan of the wall for gameplay reasons. It's the easiest way to deal with it is usually a vulture mask. If you bring a vulture mask, it will be easy. If you don't, it will be hard, especially with hunter spawns. Someone had the bright idea of spamming like 6 leaf lizards there, which is a little ridiculous. Or scavengers, as some of the earlier Slugcats. You have to deal with scavengers in the wall. Metropolis also has some of my favorite backgrounds in the game, as well as the echo. The whole sequence of going up to the echo there is like one of my favorite moments in the whole game, in all of Downpour. Except for the fact that you have to play Artificer to get it, and you have to actually go through the region, where the gameplay is mostly combat with scavengers. You know, actually, hold up. Speaking of the city, speaking of Metropolis, kind of feels different with the lightning in the background. I think I could have made that. The area where this song plays is probably like one of the best moments in Downpour. Being able to finally go to the city in the background. If you play Artificer first instead of Gourmand, which is the correct option by the way, despite my complaints about Artificer, prefer it over Gourmand. But if you play Artificer first, that's your first like real introduction to one of the new regions in Downpour. If you haven't gone to the waterfront facility, it's just like a really strong moment. Yeah, it gets a lot more difficult in this section. Just this one screen I've fallen from many times. I don't want to risk while jumping off, so it's best to just wait for a jump like that. It's this jump which is probably the most difficult in the whole map. It's this type of jump has shown up multiple times in this map, but it's only here where it's much easier to fall off if you mess it up like that. every other time you do that, it's very easy to just get back on the pole and keep attempting it until you get them, until you jump the right way. But here you actually have to like be precise and jump in the right spot. Good luck. Thanks. This isn't even the last screen. I think there's either 1 or 2 more screens after this one, which I have yet to get across. That's because this jump is really janky. They didn't take too many attempts. Oh! Hello. I forgot I put this on the playlist. A little bit different than the other songs. Hello over on Twitch, by the way. I see you over there. Okay, I haven't made it here yet. How about this jump scare? Yes. Okay, this is not the last screen. Okay, for this whole area, it's best to try to land in the middle. There's usually a few platforms in the middle here they can land on. Oh great, another one of these jumps. I really wanted that right now. That's why. Kind of looks like there's something on the left side there, but I'd rather not risk that. And this seems like a tough jump just to go over there, which might not lead to anywhere. It doesn't seem like it does. Can't even see poles with this factor. Well, at least it's not too bad if you fall from this point, unless you really mess up. Okay. That happened again, where the pounce just didn't work for some reason. Not exactly sure why that happens. Maybe if you jump too soon after holding up. I don't know. This song again. Hey, the spear is here. Okay, we're here again. Yeah, I know that you can tell when you're ready to do a pounce, but even after that, sometimes it doesn't happen for some reason. It might be because you have to hold down, like anytime you press a new input, you have to wait for the cooldown again to do the pounce. Although I'm not really in a good spot to test that out right now. How much patience I have. You have to be careful in those kind of situations. You can't always, sometimes it's a little hard to tell if you're crouching or standing up. If you're crouching, you just kind of flop over. And sometimes you're prepared to do a jump, but then you're actually crouching when you didn't realize it. Okay, you have to be a little higher up than I thought you had to be for those jumps. I'll fall off the ledge there. Okay. Remember to stay hydrated. Okay, we're back here. This is kind of like a semi-checkpoint. We have a wall to fall towards if you fall down. I think I found this easier just to run off and jump instead of doing a pounce. Okay, I think I'm getting that specific timing down a bit better. Okay, what is this? Usually I struggle to do this kind of jump just once. If I fall down, I should stick to the left. For 2+ hours, yeah. I feel like it'd be easier to do this. Although now I'm facing the wrong direction. Just doing a little bit of dancing. A little break dancing. Okay, that's ideal. I feel like that's the easiest way to do that. I like this music right now. Oh, this looks like the top. Although I see that jump on the left side. Not really a fan of that. Although you can probably just try to hold to the right. I would not like it if that original song was still playing here. But also this kind of hangs over the middle. Hold up. yeah, once again, stay close to the middle. They did that on purpose, didn't they? That horizontal pull just to mess you up, so that if you hold to the left. Okay. Back here. I have to do those jumps again. Okay. What mod is this? This is Slug King. You can see it on the Steam Workshop for Rain World. Oh, this song is pleasant. It's kind of worse if you try to hold up there. Whoops. Well, we're down here now. Could probably jump all the way to the middle there. Nope. Don't try to do that. Doesn't work. I get to do this again. What's the spear for? I have no idea. That's why I'm holding on to it, because I might need it later. Although it would make some of these jumps a lot easier to use the spear. Although actually not really for this section. Maybe for throw boosts. But I'm holding on to it just in case. I also have a theory that you might use the spear to go back to an earlier area in the map. Where it had a jump that was impossible to do, but it might be possible with the spear. So it could be intentional that you take the spear from this area and then bring it down. You like backtrack back down there. And that's where you use the spear. And I'm just holding on to it for no reason. Or I could have used it whenever to make some jump easier if I was struggling with it. But I don't know. And if you know, then don't say it. Because I would like to find out myself. See, that happened again. I tried to pounce, I was ready for it, and then it didn't happen. Probably some problem with timing that I'm not noticing. Okay. That was almost made it back. Okay, I don't know if it's possible to make it back up to this platform because I haven't fallen down here before. I feel like it might be easier just to fall back down here. So I'm familiar with these jumps, but I'm not familiar with that one up there. See, that felt easier. What's going on in the mod? It's Jump King. It's a platforming based challenge. Try to get to the top, and it's very easy to fall all the way back down to the bottom, like I have done multiple times already. Oh, okay, I guess that's one way to turn around. This is fairly close to the end. I think it's just like 1 or 2 screens away from the top. I have not seen what the top looks like, so it's a bit of a mystery. Careful here. Okay. I like this song. Okay, I need to figure out a good way to do this. Actually, I think I have an idea. That was a bit close. It's just to do this. Yes, that worked. Where is Slug King? You can find it in the Steam workshop for Rain World. Oh, you're asking where is the Slug King? I'm the Slug King, I assume. And I'm trying to get to the top. That's how it works in Jump King. If you want to have a look at the full map, I've died 3 times here. A death means restarting at this shelter. But this is also just the second half of the map. I also had to get through this. This is the whole tower. So now I'm wondering, is this possible with just a regular roll pounce, or do I have to use a spear here? Because it's very possible if I do a roll pounce and then throw a spear at the end. And the rest of the platforming after that jump doesn't look like it requires a spear. And that either means this is where you're supposed to use it, or you use it in the next room after that pipe up there. You see why it took 2 hours. Like, this is just the second half. I already spent another like a bit longer than 2 hours on the last stream. This feels like a bigger jump than even this one right here. suspense is too much. Sorry. Should I just use the spear? And then I'm gonna mess up the roll, aren't I? Here, I'll use the spear. Okay. I'll use it. Thanks, developers. They knew. They knew. Oh, they're gonna use the spear here. So we're gonna make it a wall that you can't stick spears into. Yeah. So that you fall all the way back down. Thank you. Oh, chat delay. And now this song is playing. This feels fitting. Oh, alright. I actually don't know if I'll have enough time to complete this now. It's already been 3 hours. Actually, I can just... I mean... Nah, hold up. I'm not doing that. I'm not choosing that. I don't know if it's worth doing. Should I try to continue? If I do another stream of this, I might finish it too quickly. Which is what I thought that for this stream. Like, oh, what if I just go and beat it, and then the stream will be done too early. I'll try again. Speedrun. But now I'm still wondering, do I need the spear? If it's not used for that jump, is it used for later? Is the whole purpose of the spear just to troll you at the very end? In which case, it might be better to use this before then, before that point. This is a good song. By developers, do you mean the one guy that made this map? Yes. The answer is yes. Does anyone know where this song plays in game? Just curious. I've mostly just seen it in the Downpour playlist, but I don't know if I've heard it in game. Oh, and this song, back-to-back bangers. Now I'm actually curious, are any of the walls spearable? Cause that's the only time I threw it. But then, like, why else would you have a spear? Where else would I want to use it? Oh, I know where. The song is Wired. Spear is for trolling. Path of Pain is so much easier than this. That's a game with actually good platforming mechanics. Not something janky like Rain World. Although some people also complain about Hollow Knight's controls for some reason. But Path of Pain was not that bad. At least I didn't have a bad time with it. This jump is still quite difficult. I mean, I guess I better get used to doing these full length roll bounces. Is there an overseer over there? You see that? Like a split second on the left side. Overseer showed up. Is there a platform over there? Oops, I don't know why I jumped that way. Forgot how to play the game. Okay, that wasn't that bad. Oh, did it just not work? There wasn't the sound effect that usually plays for spears. Any mods recommended? Not yet. I don't think there's been any release that are like, other than like small quality of life mods or memes. Like there's not really any that like change the game in a significant way that's actually balanced. Of course, it's gonna take time for those kinds of mods to come out. So we'll just have to wait and see. That jump is really annoying. I would rather just skip it with a spear. And I'm not going to use it at the end. Because when you throw a spear like right next to a wall, it's guaranteed to stick. And the chance that a spear sticks into the wall is random, but it depends on the distance you are from the wall. So point blank, it's guaranteed to stick. Although that might also depend on the Slugcat that you play. Whenever mods do come out for the game that are actually interesting, I will play them on stream, like this one. Although this isn't really a mod, it's just a custom like platforming challenge. But mods that like change the games in interesting ways, I'll check those out on stream when they do show up. See, that didn't take too long. If I can make it past this section. Quality of life mods are probably the best thing in a video game. Well, the thing is, Downpour was already like a bunch of quality of life mods. Like remix mode, specifically. That came with so many quality of life features. Like most of the things that I would want mods for, like they're already covered in remix mode. Okay. Although one thing that I would like to see, that someone may have already made a mod for, but it's a system that gets rid of lizard like by RNG. That's one thing I find really annoying. When a lizard bites you, there's a random chance that it just kills you instantly. Otherwise, you can throw a rock or a spear to release yourself. And that's just like kind of strange that it's random. I mean, it makes sense why it's random in terms of this is a realistic feeling game. But yeah, from a gameplay perspective, whether you survive or die is just random chance if you're prepared, you know. I've gotten into the habit of immediately throwing when I notice I've been bit by a lizard, and that usually gets me out, like get released. But there's a random chance that you just die, you know. So a system like a health system, I think could be interesting. Is if you're bitten, then you become injured. And injured it's kind of like starvation or just the way Gourmand is normally, where you become like stunned. You have like stamina and stuff to worry about. And then if you get bit while you're injured, then you die instantly. And whether and how many bites it takes to make you injured depends on the type of lizard. So like a blue lizard might take like 3 bites to kill you, and a green could take like 2. And reds can stay as insta kills, so that makes sense. I kind of like red lizards in that way. They're just like really consistent. If you approach a red lizard, in the wrong way, you're probably going to die. There's no questions, you know. They're that consistent. I have no idea how I turned around that easily. While like a blue lizard, you're like, oh, it's just a blue lizard. I don't need to worry about that being a threat. And then it kills you instantly out of nowhere. So it was a threat. But you couldn't know because it was random chance. It depends on where you got bit. So like it would injure you in different kinds of ways. That could be interesting, but also that's still very random. Like it's just based on the positioning of the Slugcat, which just is very chaotic. Okay, so this still doesn't really feel that possible. Well, I just did it though. Oh, I didn't expect that. Maybe I should have gone a little faster. Who was it that said earlier, like, oh, it would be cool if there was a part that was zero gravity and you would just float away? Here it is. I'm kind of slowing down a bit though. Here's a tutorial on how to do this. In whichever direction you go, aim kind of to the sides of that. Like aim to the right, since I'm going up, aim to the right, and then aim to the left. And that puts your tail in the right position to boost you forward. And make sure you're always facing forward too, so you don't spin around. Also, there might be music that is supposed to play here, but I wouldn't know because I turned off music. Also, this is going quite a ways up. Getting over it, yes, that also ends in a low gravity section. Become the first animal in space. Yeah, I'm about to get to the moon. Hello? Is that it? We're just up here now. Looking at this background. It's a pretty cool background, huh? Looks to the cat. Yeah, it looks to the Slugcat. Well, you can't look at them now. They're kind of left. Unless like turning off music kind of messed something up here, but did I win? I have no idea. Is it supposed to happen? There was a part of this map earlier that was broken. This might have broken too. Yeah, unless this is intentional. This is what it's supposed to look like. Does anyone else know? Okay. It is broken. There is supposed to be something up here. But actually, I broke it on purpose, so now you guys have to play the map for yourselves to see the real ending. Got him. Alright, I'm ending the stream. Thanks for watching, everyone. See ya.